me. Sweet.
The advice and opinions expressed by the hosts of Autism Live and her guests are meant solely as suggestion and should not be in any way construed as child-specific advice. Any choices you make in determining your child's treatment are completely at your own discretion.
Good morning and welcome to Autism Live. I'm Shannon Penrod, and we're excited to have you here for this live show. It is Wednesday morning, August 9th, 2023, and we are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and about a dozen other sites, and our fabulous 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 is going to show you some of the ways that you can connect on our screen. If you are listening to us in podcast, then you probably have already found the way that you like to download us. The show is available in a couple of different ways and a couple of different formats that you can get it from different places. The show that we record here live with picture and sound, that's available on those live platforms that I was just talking about a second ago. Then that live video goes to YouTube and it's available. We have a library of videos now. We're in our 13th year, so there's a lot of videos that are available there that you can search by topic, title, date, all those different things. But then we also podcast the show audio only now because that's what you guys asked for, that it was easier when you want to take it on the go. You don't want to fuss with the video. It's a big file. So if you want to listen to the audio only, we're a free download wherever you get your podcasts. 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 is reminding you of some of the places that you can watch it, including Spotify and iHeartRadio and all the places that you get podcasts. I also want to let you know that there is an app. Oh, shut the front door, Shannon. What do you mean there's an app? There's an app. And if you go, it's available on either platform that you can go to get apps, and it's called Autism Live, and it's a free app, and then you can get the episodes that way. So all of that is true. I also want to tell you that when we started out Autism Live, we just had different things on different days, and one of the things that we started featuring almost from the beginning, I think from the beginning, was Ask Dr. Doreen, where we have Dr. Doreen 𝗵𝗓𝗄𝗃, and she asks questions. When we made the move to go to the Autism Network, we decided that one of the things that we wanted to do is incubate podcasts, that we wanted to eventually have a network of podcasts, because it's not one size fits all. You know what I'm saying? So everything, people would write in and say, where's the stuff that's, all about people who are actually on the spectrum themselves? And parents would write in and say, what should I be watching if I'm a parent? And so we've kind of over the years segmented stuff up so that Autism Live is sort of your general all-purpose. We talk about everything on Autism Live, and we incubate new shows here. But then we also birth shows, and it's well past time because Ask Dr. Doreen is really a teenager, but we've made sure that that is its own podcast now. So it's the first of our incubated to birth podcasts. So right now, if you're subscribed to Autism Live and you've been getting the Ask Dr. Doreen feed and you love that and that's wonderful, you're still getting it, but we're going to sunset that very soon. You're only going to be able to get that if you subscribe to Ask Dr. Doreen. So you'll want to be subscribed to Autism Live and you'll want to be subscribed to Ask Dr. Doreen. Then very soon, you're going to want to subscribe to 𝗷𝗓𝗧𝗦 𝗃𝗏𝗀𝗑𝗍𝗓. And we're very excited that that's going to be the next thing that we're going to be launching. And we're incubating several other shows on Autism Live now, including Stories from the Spectrum, which is only individuals who are on the spectrum, and Let's Talk Movies with Moira and Shannon, and Let's Talk All the Things with Rachel and Shannon. So, and then we've got some more ideas in the hopper, you know what I'm saying? So, but make sure that you subscribe to Ask Dr. Doreen. You can also go to her website, AskDrDoreen.com, and you can ask questions there for her show in advance. Just push the contact button and you can get her show. Now, one other thing that we haven't talked about is that as we've gone to the Autism Network, you guys are seeing when you do the podcast version, you're getting ads. And that's, I think we all understand that's how podcasts work. That's how we keep the lights on. And I hope that you're enjoying the ads. But if you aren't, and if you are saying to yourself, gosh, some of you have written in and said, I would love to be able to subscribe in a way that I don't get ads, an ad-free version. We have that for you now for Autism Live. And we will have that for you for Ask Dr. Doreen. At the moment we have it. I think we're going to have it on her subscription. I don't know. Don't ask me. That's above my pay grade. But right now, if you want to subscribe to the full range of Autism Live podcasts and you want to get it ad-free, all you need to do is go to 𝗏.fm/Autism Live. And there they will ask you, it is I think it's $4.99 or $5 a month to subscribe, and you can do it month to month, or if you'd like a little bit of savings, you can do it for the year, and they will charge you less because they charge us less. Every time they run your card, there is a cost for us, and so we defray that cost for you because we're not trying to make money off of you. You know what I'm saying? But we do have to keep the lights on. So there we are. So there it is, 𝗏.fm/Autism Live. You can go there and register for that. If that's what you would like. Okay, we got a big show planned for you today. I've got two amazing guests, so a lot that we have to get to. I'm the first guest that's going to come after the jargon, Tuija. I'm sure I'm slaughtering her name. I'm not even going to try to say her last name, but she's going to be talking to us about helping individuals who are on the autism spectrum to be entrepreneurs and solopreneurs, which is a term that I absolutely love. And coaching to be able to do that. So we're looking forward to talking about that with her and her program, Never Getting There. And also later in the show, we're going to have Sarah Bradford back on the show. You guys know her. Her alias is 𝗔𝗕𝗬𝗧, and she does the 𝗔𝗕𝗬𝗧 show. She was part of our podcast-a-thon. She is a children's author, children's book author, and does a lot of different things. She's got a big thing. This is her second annual, but this year it's called the 1 in 36 mix. Last year it was called the 1 in 44. I'm guessing you can figure out what those numbers have to do with. And you would be right if you said autism prevalence. And she's got 2 days of guest speakers, really amazing, good stuff. Lots of brilliant self-advocates that we adore here. So we're very excited to talk with her about that and who's in the lineup. So that's all coming up a little bit later. But up first, it's time for Jargon of the Day. I do want to say, too, before we get to that, I forgot something that, you know, our mission here is to provide information and inspiration. That's what we're about. We do want you to be writing in. You can be writing into me right now. We can have conversations in real time. You can ask questions of either guests or me. We're really here because we want to be a free resource for you. That's really what we're here about, and try to uplift you on the days when you're like, I don't know what to do, or I don't feel like I can do anything more, to give you a safe place to be. And that includes everyone that is on the spectrum and everyone who loves someone on the spectrum. We love to be a home for you to get information that's good information and make it safe for you. I do always like to remind you at least once a week that we have tons of experts that are on the show like today, but I'm not one of them. I am not an expert in autism. You won't see any letters after my name that have anything to do with autism because I have no degrees in autism. What I am is a pony. I am a proud pony. I'm a parent of a neurodiverse individual, and I wouldn't change a thing about him. Not a thing, not a thing. But it was very important to me as he was growing up that he get every opportunity to be able to learn. And so I always say to people, I'm not an expert. Yes. Do I have a lot of experience talking to experts? Yes. Has some of their ideas rubbed off on me? I would hope so. I'm not uneducated, let's say that, and I'm certainly not inexperienced in the field, but that doesn't make me an expert, and I don't want it to equate to. Do I have an opinion? Yes. Is it an informed opinion? I like to think so, but you know, take everything with a grain of salt that anybody says, right? But especially me. Don't count me as an expert, but count me as somebody in your corner. I wouldn't make a good cheerleader, but you know, I can rah-rah and sis-boom. I want to celebrate you wherever you are on the spectrum, or celebrate you loving someone who's on the spectrum, because that's important too. We get there together. Okay, so anyway, I started to say we're going to do jargon of the day, which kind of goes along with what I've been talking about. So let's talk about, I know it looks like it says idea, like I've had an idea, but actually what that says on that screen is IDEA. I know it spells idea, but that's not, I mean, we are talking about something that's more of an idea than a reality, but that's just my personal twist on this. So this is our jargon of the day. We like to give you a term, a phrase, an acronym, or something, a term that's used in conjunction with the autism community. We like to explain to you what the actual definition is, sometimes from experts, and then we give you a somewhat watered down version. My head is bobbing over here because I keep moving the table, so my head is bobbing. But we like to give you a definition that's easier to get a hold of why this would be important to you today. What does this have to do with you? I always think, how does this save me 5 minutes and $5? Because if it doesn't, I may not have time for it right now. I might be too busy. But I always give you terms that have the potential to save you at least 5 minutes and $5, if not substantially more than that. And IDEA, absolutely substantially more than that. So let's take a look at what our actual definition for IDEA. I have my car keys on the desk. It's a real functional desk today. IDEA, it is the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA. I want to know how long it took them in a room to come up with that. This is federal legislation. It's Public Law 105-17, passed in 1997 as a reauthorization of the Education of the Handicapped Act, EHA, passed in 1975. This provides a mandate and some funding for certain services for students who have disabilities. Okay, well, that's about as dry as a stick in Texas. There's nothing horribly, jargony about it that we need to poke fun of. But if I'm in a meeting and I'm in an IEP meeting, because I'm a parent of an individual, a student who's on the autism spectrum, and they say, you got to come to an IEP meeting, and somebody says, well, IDEA says this, and I look this up and I go, I don't really understand anything more than that. I would be a little confused. So let's go on to what our working definition is so that we really put a fine point on this. This is the law of the land regarding education. So that puts it in a different perspective for me as a parent. I go, oh, wait a second. So there are laws, and there are federal laws that say that you can't push me or my kid around. And I want to know what that law says and to what degree can you not push us around. So you will hear terms that people will say at IEP meetings like 𝗃. And this is a jargon that we've done before. 𝗃 comes directly from IDEA. And you will hear things like least restrictive environment, which comes directly from IDEA. And when you put 𝗃 and least restrictive environment together, those are the things that you're most often going to be arguing about in an IEP meeting. And I think it's worthwhile to understand what those things are. So 𝗃, which is part of IDEA, says that your child, regardless of any disability, has the right to a free, appropriate public education. Talk about saving you $5. Let's be clear, before 1975, kids who were differently abled were not invited to school. They were invited to stay home, and they were frequently kicked out. Look, it's 2023, and some of our kids are still being kicked out of school. But if you understand IDEA, you understand that your child has a right to a free, appropriate public education, which means that if your child's behaviors due to their disability are such that it's not working out in the public school around the corner from your house, then they have to pay for your child to go to a place that's more appropriate. That is the law of the land, because your child is entitled to a free, appropriate public education. There are so many different aspects to this that are super duper important, but I think that that's one of the cornerstones. And the other cornerstone that I always bring up is the least restrictive environment, which states very clearly in IDEA that your child has the right to be in a classroom for free where they have, where it's the least restrictive environment and they have an opportunity to engage with a floor, they call it a floor of opportunity to engage in the curriculum. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that they can't, and it also says in IDEA, I guess this is the third thing that's important, is that they should be included in, that should be all included in the school that they would have gone to had they not had a disability. Those are like the three areas where people like often the most contentious, because I know people that they put, you know, people put their kid on a bus for 2 hours one way and 2 hours coming back because they go, oh, that's the only school in the district that can accommodate your child. Oops, sorry. That's not the law of the land. The law of the land says that, you know, you got to find a program for them and you can't be shipping them out 2 hours each way. They have an opportunity to be able to do that in, and in a typical classroom if they can do that. So that means that if your child can be successful in a mainstream program with an aid, then they have the right to that. Those of you who write to me all the time, we did a show a while back about how do you argue to get an aid, because so many of you had written and said, I don't know, it seems like people get these and do they grow on trees? When I go and ask the district says no, right? But that's the argument that you have to make, that your child has the right to that LRE, that least restrictive environment, and you make the argument, I think my child can do the work and maintain, you know, even if it's modified work, in a neurotypical classroom if they have the right supports. And IDEA very firmly says that your child is entitled to that. So you might be asking yourself, well, if the law is there, why is this so contentious? Why is this so hard? Why does it have to be so difficult? Well, the only thing that I can tell you is that from my point of view, it's simple. The reason why it's always so contentious is that we have never fully funded IDEA. Not in 1975, not in 1997, not in 2006, not in 2018. There has been no president, no Congress that has, they've said they were going to, there have been a lot of people who said they were going to, no one has fully funded IDEA. So imagine if we were to pass a bill that says, oh, we're going to build bridges and shore up infrastructure around bridges so that there's no more accidents on bridges that don't have to happen from crumbling bridges. And we signed that all into law, and we said, but we're only going to fund this for $1.45. Then the law would be that bridge has to be fixed, but you don't have any money to do it. So now you got to rearrange the chairs on the Titanic to figure out how to fix the bridge as best as you can, which is not the best, right? And maybe you can't fix every bridge, right? Because you don't have it funded. It's redonkulous to me. I know I'm on a soapbox right now, but whatever your political affiliations are, what I love about this is that you know, it's political, but it's not political, because if you say to me you're Republican, I say to you there has been no Republican who has fully funded it. If you say to me that you're a Democrat, I say to you there has been no Democrat who has fully funded this. Nobody. And I do want to say that in the last election, we covered this a lot during the election phase about who said they were going to do it and who wasn't saying that they were going to do it. We're going to do that again. But whenever we bring this up, I say, hey, Joe, you said you were gonna. I haven't seen it yet. I'm a-waiting, Joe. I'm waiting and expecting. I don't know. I might have to go chain myself to a fence somewhere to get attention there. But not only that, Joe Biden said he was going to fund it fully. I think he was one of the ones, I should check this before I say it, but I think he was one of the ones that said he was going to fund it by 125%, not 100%. I'll check that. I'll check my facts. But hey, Joe, I thought you said you were going to do it. I'm waiting to see. Okay. So I do want to say that right now, a concern is that both of the front runners in the Republican race for president next year's election have said that they would like to completely do away with the Department of Education And I have no idea what that would do to IDEA, but it frightens me beyond all possible belief. We have some work to do, folks, around this. We need to make sure that, because IDEA is a great law, and it could be better. Yeah, it could be better, but it's better than nothing, and we don't want to return to 1975. So let's not do that. Okay. Having said that, we want to bring in our first guest. I hope that she is here. No, she's not here. Okay. Well, then, and I assume that our second guest is not here because it's way too early for her. You're stuck with me talking about politics then, and that is never a good thing. But let's talk more about when you're in the IEP meeting. When you're in the IEP meeting, oh, she's here. She's here. Okay. Autism Journey with Elijah, you made it. Yay! Good morning to you. I'm thrilled that you're here. So our guest is here. So I'm gonna slaughter her name and apologize profusely, but she's a speaker and an experience coach. She's the founder of Never Getting There. Oh, that name just like really, it's like very evocative, isn't it? She's a long-term solopreneur, also known for her business style consultancy and speaking services. Earlier this year, she expanded her business to experience coaching and is the founder of an online training program called Never Getting There that helps small business owners and solopreneurs get ahead with their business and increase turnover. Never Getting There program helps solopreneurs minimize invisible personal factors that cause distraction and help reach their full potential. She lives in Finland, so we love that. But due to her international background in London and Tokyo, she offers all of her services and programs also in English. So I want to bring her in here, and have her say her name. I'm saying Tuija, but I'm hoping that that's even close. Am I close?
It was pretty close. It's Tuija.
Tuija. What a
Yes.
Of course. Well, now that all makes sense to me. And how do you say your last name?
Kauppinen.
Oh, you're going to have to...
Kauppinen.
Kauppinen.
Well
Okay.
done.
All right. Well, it sounds better when you say it. So, Tuija, is that it? Tuija?
That's very well, yes.
I think I'm going to call you Ms. K in a second, but...
That's okay.
Tuija. Okay, let's talk about, because you reached out to us and said, I really feel like I've got something going on here that's going to be really helpful to the autism community and to the neurodiverse community. So I love this sort of platform that you talk about, that you start with talking about healthy lifestyle. I don't know where you want to start with talking about what this has to do with neurodiversity, or whether it just, to me, it just makes sense. But talk about what you want to talk about.
Well, it makes sense to talk about the healthy lifestyle, but it all started because I'm a long-term entrepreneur, actually solopreneur, and I was diagnosed with ADHD already 20 years ago, and I haven't got proper care or support for that. I have a very good medication, but we all know that's not enough. And then I got tired. Within last year, I got tired of not getting any help, and then I founded this new program. I got this grand idea to start a program. If I don't get help, I have to, discover it myself, create myself. And here we are. So I run it in Finnish, if you want to know, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 when we start the program, it's a live coaching or online course, and we started with taking care of ourselves, because whether we are normal or neurodiversity people like I am, the sports and very good rest and good sleep and proper nutritious food they are vital things for our well-being. Wouldn't you agree?
I totally agree. It's funny because we talk about self-care all the time, but
Yes.
it's super hard. I think it's a hard thing to learn, especially, I think it's hard for everybody. I don't even want to say especially, but I do think that, as a parent of a neurodiverse individual, I will say that for caregivers, this is really hard. We all admit that we're failing on self-care a lot. And the thing that somebody said to me is, if you're not doing it, how are you modeling it for your child? How is your child learning it? So I think it's great that you start there. And I do want to point out that your program is really available for everyone. So if we have caregivers and parents that are there that are entrepreneurs or solopreneurs, or just people who are thinking about starting their business, it could be good for you or for your adult children who are wanting to start their business that are on the spectrum or neurodiverse, good for them as well. Everybody can benefit from this.
Yes, and it's especially for us entrepreneurs, but the and solopreneurs, because I've been a solopreneur, and our the amount of solopreneurs and micropreneurs in this world, not just in Finland but everywhere, it's growing by day. And already in Finland, where we have 5.5 million people living in this country, we have almost 300,000 solopreneurs and micropreneurs here. So it's an ever-growing number of people, and the studies show that almost 30% of all entrepreneurs have some kind of neurodiversity issue going on, and only 15% of them has been diagnosed. So there are lots of hidden issues with people, and as we talk about this neurodiversity, ADHD or autism, most people don't want to get that stigma on their forehead still, even though we are living the year 2023.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that as I told you, I was diagnosed 20 years ago, and only less than 3 years I've been openly talking about it, because the world is more ready now. So I had to hide it all the time, and that is one of the things that really directs one's actions and thinking and personality to a wrong direction if one has to mask these kind of issues. So I'm very happy that I found you in the internet, so that you are like pioneering these issues in the world, so that it comes like a common knowledge. Thank you for that.
Well, thank you. I mean, we've been doing this for a hot minute, and I mean, this is our 13th year, but we're by far not the only ones. In fact, our next guest, you're going to want to check out our next guest, because she's also doing this and has a big virtual summit coming up. So we'll talk about that. But one of the things that you talk about are these invisible factors. Talk to us about why neurology and invisible factors are something that you think is important to delve into with these entrepreneurs and solopreneurs.
Yes, even if we have these neurodiversity issues, we get stuck. If there are coming too many impulses and too much of information from all directions, we really get stuck, and we don't know which one to start working on. And that's one thing. And then we just start hyper-focusing on issues, and we lose valuable working hours when we just do one thing that is not bringing any cash flow. Although the hyper-focusing is also a good thing, that then we concentrate on one specialty issues that we are very good at, that we are professional of. So that can be a very positive thing too. But most of the time, I think it works against us. So, then there are those fears that has nothing to do with the neurodiversity issue, but fears, or we are too kind and we are easily led to be manipulated, and we start to act in a wrong direction. We go to the wrong direction. So there are lots of those kind of invisible factors that direct our actions and our decision making wrong way. Also, these kind of cognitive issues, like somebody understands numbers easily, the other one understands the distance or the abstract thinking. If there are any disorders in that, in any of those cognitive issues or abilities, it also it also directs our understanding in the wrong way. So, you know, there are lots of things, even if one doesn't have ADHD or autism, anything in that spectrum, there are lots of issues that people should get to know what they are capable of doing, because otherwise they just use their working hours in the wrong way.
I love that you start by looking at this and acknowledging, though, that these are really talented people, and that it's not a question of talent. It's that they're talented, but they may have past trauma or something that will get in the way of their talent being perceived. And I love that way of looking at it, Tuija. You also talk about exhaustion, because that is a very real part of a solopreneur or an entrepreneur's experience, but then add neurodiversity to it, and we've got a whole, because as you know, all my friends who are on the spectrum talk about that masking is exhausting.
It is. It's very exhausting. And, you know, I'm a professional masker because I had to do it for so long time. And I really have to say, now when I look back, it has directed my actions as entrepreneur in a false direction. Because, you know, I always had to be in a standby or be careful what I do, what I say, so that I wouldn't irritate people. And it's really, really tiring. We all know that. So, but exhaustion can come also if we are just, you know, very sensitive people. Like neurosensitive people, if we get exhausted by too many lights or too many people, or we are introverted persons and we have to do networking, it can be exhausting. In my program, I advise them to, because, you know, as an entrepreneur, we still have to go networking, whether we are introverted or extroverted. So in my program, I advise to be prepared, and for the next day or next 2 days to have less difficult or less demanding tasks on the plate, so to say.
I love that. So you set yourself up. If there's something that you have to do, you give yourself a kindness to decompress from it.
Yes, exactly.
In your planning.
Yes, and also like I'm seemingly myself an extrovert person, but I can, because of my masking, I've been masking it away, my very private me, and trying to be very extrovert and, you know, outgoing. And then when I come home, now I can, when I look back, that's why I've been tired. So, you know, so it's good that the world is slowly going to the direction that we can just be genuine us. And anyway, whatever we do, if we go, I'm also a speaker, when we go on stage, we have to be genuine ourselves. Otherwise, the audience won't listen to us. They immediately, they somehow sense that we are not fully there.
Absolutely. You also talk about time use and efficiency. Talk to us a little bit about that and why that is particularly in play with folks that are neurodiverse.
Yes, because all those issues that we've been talking about, if we are not fully there, or we have to mask, or we get tired, or every morning we are tired, or our mind and brain is cloudy, that is, we are not going to have a very efficient working day. So that's why we start with the self-care, so that the diet is okay, we do enough for sports, we have enough of good rest and very good night's sleep, so that the next day we are very, lively, and we are healthy, and we are happy, and we are ready to go to work. And I'm experimenting all this my coaching system, the method here. I'm experimenting on myself. I started to go to the gym in the morning instead of in the evening. I do it in the morning, and that is a really good kickstart for the day. I take my medication, I go to the gym, I have breakfast and go to work. And then my mind is really it's really organized, it's ready to hit the work, and it's just working. And I do recommend that to anybody.
Yeah, I love, we've got comments coming in. I want to acknowledge that Shadanda, we're going to get to your question in between the guests. But Doris says, thank you for educating us. Autism Journey with Elijah says, this is awesome. Self-care is extremely important. Sometimes we always can't get that, but I can see a difference when I do have R&R. I think that's true for all of us. One of the other things you talk about, Tuija, is accountability, which, especially when you're a solopreneur, that can be very difficult. But even when you're an entrepreneur, that accountability can be important and difficult. Talk to us about what you recommend.
Well, I do recommend that we all should have somebody to talk to, and to talk about the good things, happy things, bad things, sorrows, and to be accountable for somebody. Because I just take myself again as an example. I've been solopreneur and single person for a long time, living alone, working alone. And then I have to make all the decisions by myself. I have to, when I feel sad, I talk to myself only, and, these kind of things. It's very important that we have a platform like this. Never Getting There is also a platform and a community where we can share things, and we can share our experiences and our thoughts and our sorrows. And once we start sharing, the people start to pick up and they start to share. And this is very important, that the one big issue in the big aim and goal with this program is that we start talking openly about problems, even those things that we are ashamed of, and actually especially those things. If we run, as we neurodiversity or ADHD people, we easily run into financial troubles. Been there, seen that, and those are those things that in this country, I don't know about your country, but in this country, in Finland, we people don't talk about those. They are so ashamed. And this is one big thing that I'm going to open up in this program, to talk about these shameful things. So we need somebody to talk to have a close by or community, and also to be accountable for.
Love it. And you, it's all this coaching, but we don't want to forget that it's also about business and revenue and marketing. That you say that one of the things that you're trying to do is to help the program helps participants to succeed and grow their revenue. Because a lot of times people get excited about what they're doing and don't worry about the revenue. I have been guilty of that myself. But some of the things that you say here, Never Getting There program helps straighten out the road to reach your goals, minimize invisible factors that cause exhaustion and disturbance, understand how to deal with neurodiversity issues, inspire to lead a healthy and energetic lifestyle, make more efficient use of working hours, pay attention to marketing and sales, and increase turnover. So you mentioned at the beginning, because we're almost out of time, that there is an online course that you can do. That one is self-paced. Is that correct, Tuija?
Yes.
But then if somebody needs a little bit more, they can do one-to-one coaching. Is that with you?
Well, yes, and it's a life coaching. I run life coaching sessions where it's a group setting, and there you for the for the first program, you get 1 hour coaching with me, and we make a plan how you can proceed. And then the second one, the plus program, you'll have 8 hours of coaching with me, so that we make sure that you start to increase your turnover. And then there is the online course separately. I'm sure you will have those links somewhere.
Yeah, and we put the flyer up a second ago, and it said that it was 199. Is that a euro sign that's with it? So forgive me, what does that end up being American? What's 199?
It's more or less the same.
Okay.
It's more or less.
And for that, you're getting the online course, or for that, you're getting, which one are you getting?
You are getting the online course, and that's a special price because it's the pre-booking price.
All right. That's a very special price. People should take care of that. So if you are interested, we really encourage you. The website that you can go to, and I think Traven's going to put this on the screen, but for those of you listening in podcast, you can go to impactqueens.com/never-getting-there. You can find Tuija on LinkedIn. We're going to have that in the comment section under the video description and the audio description. And you can also find 𝗃𝗂𝗁𝗃 Coach on Instagram. So look for her there. And if you can't find it for whatever reason, reach back out to us and we'll make sure to connect you with Tuija. Tuija, thank you. I love what you're doing.
Thank you. It was very nice to be here.
It was lovely to have you here. You have a wonderful, what time is it there in Finland?
It's close to 9 o'clock in the evening.
All right. Well, you have a lovely evening then.
Thank you.
You take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
I wanted to first address the question, and then we're going to welcome our next guest. Shadanda wrote in and said, my child is nonverbal and she's 3. Will she ever talk? And here's the thing, Shadanda, I don't think anybody can promise you that, but I want to put some hope into your backpack. That many years ago, the statistics were something like 86% of people on the autism spectrum never spoke. And in the last 25 years, that number has flipped. And so now the vast majority, it's like 86% of people on the autism spectrum are fully verbal. So there's a much smaller division of people who do not regain language. Most of them have a secondary diagnosis of something like apraxia. And, for your 3-year-old, if you see that she is making attempts to speak, that she, when we see people with apraxia, often they will be making the movement and trying to make a sound, and it's almost like they're having to push it through something. I would have her evaluated for apraxia. That doesn't mean that she won't speak either. It just means you're going to work on things in a slightly different way because it's a different issue with apraxia. It's getting the message from here to here. It's not that the message isn't there. For a lot of the kids on the spectrum that are 3, they have not learned language in the typical way. And the best thing to do with a 3-year-old is to immerse her in spoken language that is very clear. I prefer greatly, because that's what my son did, really good intensive ABA that is intensive language, where one of the things that they're going to do is, the first thing that they're going to look at is she making productive sounds? And does she have any words at all? That if a child is able to say, that is a productive sound. If they're like pointing at something and going, that is a productive sound. And that can be shaped into language. When there aren't productive sounds, or they're struggling to make productive sounds, we want to look at things in a different way. But I would have her evaluated very quickly. And if she is making productive sounds, you have every reason to believe that she can be fully verbal. It just may take her longer, right? But you would work in a very specific way. And if she isn't making productive sounds, it's just as urgent to get her evaluated. If you're dealing with apraxia, the thing that we say with autism in general is it's not game over, it's game on. And with apraxia, same thing. But you are going to work in a very targeted, different way than you would if it's not apraxia. So, but you have every reason to hope and to expect that your child will be able to communicate with you. Whether it's all spoken language or not, I don't know. And I don't think that there's any expert who can definitively tell you, unless your child, if your child already has, say, 2 words, then your child's going to be able to be verbal and speak. If she does not yet have 2 words at 3 and she's not making productive sounds, let's check for apraxia, okay? But don't give up hope. And don't fear. At some point, they may say to you, let's teach her functional communication first. Like they might give her icons, an iconic, like a PEC system or an iPad for her to push buttons. Studies have shown very clearly that individuals who are struggling to get the spoken language and get functional communication first will go quicker to spoken language if they have that iconic system. If they're not struggling, if they're learning and they just have to catch up, then we go full bore with spoken language. I hope that made sense. You know what? Write to me if you need to know more. You can always email me, Shannon@autism-live.com. People are always surprised when I write them back or call them back, but I do. And if I don't for some reason, email me again, because it means that I lost your email, which, you know, I've been prone to do. Okay, our next guest has waited, and I'm so sorry, but Sarah Bradford is joining us, and you guys might know her as 𝗟𝗘𝗧 from the 𝗃𝗓𝗧 show, which was one of our featured shows during the podcastathon. She's amazing. We had her on the show many, many years ago because she's a children's author, and she has so many lovely books that are out that are wonderful children's book, beautifully illustrated, and each one deals with different issues that will come up if you have a child that is differently abled. And then, you know, she was on our show talking about her books, and then she decided she was going to start her own show, and so she started the 𝗃𝗧𝗧 show, and she works with a network of podcasters. She's absolutely amazing. I'm saying hello to Mike. So thrilled that you're here too. Okay, so let's welcome Sarah, aka 𝗃𝗧𝗧. Hey, look at how beautiful you look. Well, I get all a tingle when talking to you because I feel like you are such a success story. That you were a mom and you were a writer, and then you had one of your children diagnosed on the spectrum, and you started on a path that I don't want to tell your story, but you started on a path, and if you want to tell them where that ended you up.
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay,
great.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for letting me come on today, and our relationship has been fantastic over the years, and it's just
only because you are patient with me. Only because you are patient with me. That's the
amen,
only
right?
But,
Patience, grace,
I
and
adore
understanding
you.
for everyone. No, I think that, you know, it's been a really incredible journey. It's been a little over a decade when our 16-month-old was diagnosed, and at the time he was he had a lot of support needs and was non-speaking until almost 4. He is 13 today and is still getting, you know, some life skills down, but he is verbal, and you know, things do come around with lots of therapy, like you said, Shannon. And but with that, in this journey, we also have discovered that my husband of 14 years just recently had our anniversary, and our daughter are also on the spectrum, which then, as you know, kind of led to, I found out that I was also on the spectrum. And so now I'm really able to advocate from this super special perspective from a wife and a mother and a self advocate. And the connections that I've been able to make on this journey have really helped me find my community, you know, the ones.
Yeah. Well, and you've got this beautiful banner behind you about this 1 in 36 mix, the virtual autism summit. And that's really why we wanted to have you on today, to talk about this and why people should be getting their tickets right now to come to this. This is happening in just a couple of days. So there's no time like the present. People need to get their tickets. This is really the second annual of this, although last year it was called the 1 in 44. This year it's called the 1 in 36. Would you like to tell us why the number has changed?
Yeah, the number has changed because the number of individuals diagnosed with autism in the US has, in just 1 year, gone from 1 in 44 to 1 in 36. And I really wanted to take the time to elevate and celebrate autistic voices and stories. There's, I think, nothing more valuable than getting information from autistic voices themselves and how to shape the perspective and supports in the future generations to come.
Amen to that. So you've got a lineup. It's 2 different days, and this is a virtual summit. So it's like going to a conference, you guys, but you're going virtually, and you get your ticket, and then with the ticket, they're able to see all of the speakers. Is that right,
Yep.
Sarah?
36. Yep, 36 slots.
That's amazing.
It is. It is incredible the amount of value and information that we're bringing in 2 days. Really supporting the advocates. We have, as you can see, autistic celebrities from Netflix, Love on the Spectrum, of course, 𝗟𝗊𝗲𝗏, who we both love, who you introduced me to, thank goodness.
She's amazing.
And we've been able to form an amazing friendship as well. We have just some incredible icons that are on Instagram and TikTok that are just so wonderful in coming to share their stories and their platforms with us to really help spread information and joy in all of this. And I really love the fact that last year, some of our speakers went on to start their own businesses, do more public speaking, just like really gained the confidence from being with all their other like-minded peers and success, and so it's so exciting. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful event.
I think it's lovely and brilliant, and I'm so glad that you're doing it. But let's talk about some of the particulars of it. If people, it's a very low cost for a ticket, and you're going to get so much from this. Where do they need to go to get the tickets, and how much are the tickets right now?
Yeah, the tickets are $25 for the entire 2 days event.
That's amazing, you guys.
20 hours of education and fun and live music performances.
Yeah.
You're going to see some up and coming live musicians that are going to make it on their way.
Yeah, you guys have Spencer Griffin, who I just adore.
I love them, and just some amazing information. We have, technical information, support information. I'll go through some of the titles, and I think we have a video to share so you can see all of the faces. So
yeah, why don't we go to the video? I forgot about the video. Traven, are we ready on the video? Yes. Okay, let's go to the video, and then we'll talk on the other side.
Perfect.
Such an impressive lineup, Sarah. I mean, and for $25, you guys, you know you couldn't go to the bookstore and get a book with one millionth of the information that you're going to get if you go to this. Not for $25. You'd have to back up a truck, right? And I want to say this too. I just think it's amazing because you have so many people on the summit who identify as being neurodiverse. And I think that that's a really important thing. I respect that immensely. And I think if anybody is out there and you are a parent or a loved one or somebody who is working with individuals, if you aren't listening to these voices, you're missing out. You are missing one of the most incredible experiences of your life. So I'm sure, so this starts on the 11th, which is in what, 2 days?
Crazy.
So are you crazy busy right now? I can't believe you have time to talk to us.
I know it is a little crazy because, this is it. I'm me. I'm 𝗃𝗂𝗧𝗦 LLC. So all of the marketing, everything, posting. I mean, of course, along with all my wonderful presenters that are helping out. I have 2 amazing sponsors. I'd love to give them a shout out.
Yes,
Our
let's do
silver
it.
sponsor is 𝗃𝗄𝗧 Rodriguez. She is a up and coming new service that she is in Florida, and she provides staging for kids. And what that means, and her company is called Safe Space Staging for Kids. She basically recreates dental offices, hair salons, medical offices. She gets the chair and all the equipment, and she sets it up for people to help train their children, or therapists to train their clients with, and really help these individuals gain success in practicing before they need to go. So what a special service to provide.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. And then we have from my local community, Quality Roofing and Energy, which they have children on the spectrum. And so they were just quick to jump up and say, we would love to sponsor you, would love to, be at this event and really show our support. So we're so grateful for them here in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Well, I just made the case to somebody who's a roofer about how they should be doing more things with autism, and they were like, I don't really see the connection. I was like, you don't think that people who have neurodiverse kids have roofs?
Yeah.
Can we talk about that? Or that they know somebody who has a kiddo on the spectrum. It's an important thing. So I applaud them for getting it before I had to explain it to them. And of course, if they have their own kiddo, then they understand it and nobody needed to explain it to them. So shout out to them, really wonderful. I love that you were doing this, but where do they go to buy the ticket?
Okay, so it is, I'm going to read it off. I just typed it up in here. So it is called the Hopin platform. You can go to www.hopin.com/events/1 in 36 mix virtual autism summit.
Okay, we're going to have to read that at least 3 more times.
Hopefully share that.
But also on Facebook, you have links as well under.
Yeah, there's links. Hopefully, you can find them everywhere.
And so, but we're going to read it again. I'm going to have you read it again. But should they go? Because I get it all the time on my feed, but I don't know. Am I looking at the 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗦 show page? Where would they find it?
You can go to my personal page. And actually, let me send you to the easiest place of all.
Okay.
The link is posted right on my website, which is 𝗟𝗘𝗧𝗏𝗠𝗏𝗡.org.
Well, that's super easy. We can remember that. 𝗟𝗘𝗧𝗏𝗠𝗏𝗡.org.
Yep.
Okay. So go there, register and get your tickets. It's $25. I hope everybody is realizing you can do that, and then that becomes a tax deduction. That is, something that you have gone to, and, it's fabulous. So you don't want to miss this, is what I'm saying. It's like not one of those things that's missable. So there we go, 𝗟𝗘𝗧𝗏𝗡.org. Go there.
I was going to say, due to our sponsors, I do have scholarship tickets. I do have tickets for families in need. So please send them my way if so, and I'd love to help them out.
That's amazing. So it is only $25, and if you can afford $25, I really urge you to support what Sarah's doing, because these things are, listen, I'm never doing that podcast-a-thon thing again. I'm just going to tell you. I'm not doing that again. It's so much work. It's a lot of work. So, you know, and her time is valuable. So support her in her endeavors if you can. But if you can't, you're not excluded. She has some scholarship money, so still go to 𝗟𝗘𝗧𝗏.org and make the case and ask for a scholarship. Don't be squeamy about that. The information is too important for you to miss because of going, oh, I should have $25. We've all had a point in our lives when we did not have $25. Every single one of us, including Oprah, had a day when she didn't have $25. So don't feel bad about that. Just, you know, step forward and say, I need it. I'm so excited for you. And I'm going to say this, I have no right, but I'm so proud of you, Sarah, that you.
That means a lot to me.
Well, thank you, because that seems weird. Like, why do I have the right to say I'm proud of you? But, you know, so many people that I've met along the way, you know, doing this forever, will say, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. And it's the rare and odd person who not only does what they said that they wanted to, but then says, hey, you know what else? I want to do this too, and just carries the message forward. And you are the very embodiment of that. You are just killing it, girl.
Thank you so much. And, you know, I invite everyone. I have a Facebook group called Autism Advocates Support Group. It's a beautiful community, just like Autism Live. Just so much support and love. So please come join us there. And I am on all of the platforms, everything, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, all of the places. So please come and check me out, of course, and YouTube and of course the 𝗟𝗘𝗧𝗏 show on all your podcast platforms.
And all the books.
Yes, and all the books. Oh my gosh, right?
Yeah.
There's just been so many things. And, you know, I've been so lucky. I've gotten to do some community work with our police departments and our local hospitals that we want to see get some sensory rooms within their ERs and triage departments. We really want to help the community to be prepared for a lot of people to come that we need to shape the way, and I'm ready to do it. I'm ready.
There we go. I don't even want to tell you this, but I have to. I'm actually coming to Utah for 3 minutes next week. But it's all booked because I need to take my son to Arches National Park.
Yeah. Wave to me when you get here, and I will blow a kiss into the air for you.
There we go. There we go. And I wish I was going to be there longer, because I would say we have to get together over a nosh, but I'm literally there for like 3 minutes. But I thought of you when I was realizing, I'm going to Utah. And I'm so excited for this virtual autism summit, the 1 in 36 mix. I want to task all of you with getting your ticket and tell other people. You know, when you see a post of it, something that you can do that helps other people find it, because it's hard to find stuff. If you find it, put the names of people that you want to let in comments, and that way it sends them a message saying you were included in a comment, and they're right there, and then they'll have the link as well to be able to do it, because people need to know about this. Sarah, you are amazeballs.
Thank you. Well, you're my mentor, Shannon. So
I cannot take credit for that. I wish I could, but
big shoes to fill.
But no, it makes me so happy. You know, I know that Autism Journey with 𝗟𝗘𝗧𝗏, they're on here too, and she says, I already follow you, Sarah, and just love it. And I look at both of you, and I just go, oh, it's so exciting, because I'm retiring soon, and I love to see you guys just I go, it's okay, I can retire. You guys got it.
You want me to move to California? I mean, just say the word, Shannon.
There you go. Well, we learned in the pandemic, you don't have to be in California. You can be anywhere and do this. So there you go. I got so many goosies about what you're doing, and I just, really exciting. So don't miss this, you guys, the 1 in 36 mix. 𝗟𝗘𝗧𝗏.org. You're going to find all the things that we talked about, her show, the books, this summit, all of it and more. Much love to you. Give my love to your family as well.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks, Shannon. You too.
Thanks for being with us today. I know you got lots to do. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So, like I said, so overwhelmed with, this takes a village, you guys. And I love to see people who are finding their niche, finding their place, finding their voice, helping other people. I say cie𝗁𝗵𝗲𝗿. I know in the Barbie movie, they say that that's cultural appropriation. I was born in Puerto Rico. There's a count. Am I allowed to say it still? Because it's been a thing we've been saying for 13 years. We hold hands. We can do this. And there's a great example. And Autism Journey with 𝗟𝗢𝗧, you are too. Okay, you guys, we're going to sign off. Tomorrow we've got stories from the spectrum, but on Friday, don't miss it. We've got another show with Let's Talk All the Things with Rachel Bird. We now during that show are talking about things that we're obsessed with, things that we're just like, and that's part of the show. Part of it is what's happening in the world. Part of it's getting ready for, we always talk about holidays. And Rachel is going to explain to us what's happening right now, because I was not entirely prepared, but she's going to explain it to us. So much love to all of you. I'm so glad that you could join us for this show. We will be back tomorrow with stories from the spectrum, and then Friday, don't miss Let's Talk All the Things. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you so much. See you next time.